All right, welcome to week 9. You have completed your rough draft at this point and done the 2 peer reviews. Hopefully you got those in, and then you're working on your final draft for your second part of your essay. That final draft is going to be due on Monday. Please take the time to read over the comments that your peers have made. Hopefully they made some good corrective comments, constructive comments to help you in revising for your final draft. Remember what I said to each of you in the writing conferences, to really look at that thesis that is still something that's occurring that I saw in the rough draft. There's many of you who either did not have a thesis or the thesis wasn't very strong, but I did say in the writing conferences that your rough draft might not be as strong, but to make sure to make it stronger for the final draft, read the topic sentences, go back and reread what you wrote, read your topic sentences, and then rewrite your thesis to make it nice and strong so it's a clear roadmap for your audience who is reading your paper. So this week, just a reminder, make sure you look at all the announcements. I hope that you like this article here. I really enjoyed the article that I gave my talk on Sunday. Then go down to the week 9 module. And for the week 9 module, you are going to turn in the rough draft of your essay. Please review the rubric that I will be using to grade you, and also make sure that you're reading over the part 2 overview to make sure you met all the criteria there. I only looked at the first 2 paragraphs, the concluding paragraph, and then the formatting of your paper. I did not read anything in the body. I left that for your peers. All right. The next thing is the week 3 overview. So now that we'll be done with part 2, I'm so tired. With part 2 overview, we're moving on to part 3. So here, your instructions, this is where you are bringing in your part of the argument. I wrote on several of your rough drafts to make sure that you save your opinion for your part of the argument, which is part 3. It will need to be a minimum of 800 words. By the way, some of you had less than 1,200 words on your part 2. Make sure you beef up your part 2 to get to that minimum of 1,200 words. So for part 3, it is 800 words. And you are going to, first of all, you have already researched, summarized, synthesized the debate of the various positions. Now you're going to bring in your part of the argument. You're going to sit at the table. You're going to insert your viewpoints and your position on this argument. So please remember, this is not an opinionated rant. This is your opinion based upon the research you've done. So you're going to prop it up with that research, and you're going to analyze it and also look at how your point of view is different or similar to other points of view. Again, that synthesis that's going on. So please read over the rest of these instructions. If you have any questions, ask them in the announcement below. Your next assignment is we are going to do another group discussion. This is going to help you in writing your part 3. The first part of your response is you are going to put out what is your argument to the paper. Then the second part, which we'll get to in a minute, actually it's all laid out right here. The second part, you are going to go comment on a peer. You want to play devil's advocate at this point. Even if you agree with your peer's position, please take the other position. Help them think about the counter arguments that they need to write about in their paper. Please be robust in your comments and really make this a good discussion with your peers back and forth. The goal is to help you critically think about your position and the reasoning. Okay, so when you put your position out there and somebody comes up and says, no, that's not quite right, and this is why it's not quite right, then you want to have that rebuttal. And that's how this discussion is supposed to work. It's supposed to be a back and forth with your peers. So that way you're like, oh, that's what I can do in my paper. And you're writing your paper with your argument or your position, with the rebuttal, and then, the counter argument, and then your rebuttal to wrap it up. Okay. So this is a way to get other people's viewpoints to help you with the counter argument for your paper and to help you with the rebuttal. Let's see, there we go. So this is the opposing viewpoints part 2. This is just telling you to go talk to or to go respond to your peer. Okay, so the initial response is due on Wednesday, then your responses to your peers are due on Friday. May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. No, March 5th. Ooh, I just put myself 2 months ahead. Okay, annotated reading response. So we're going back to that. Remember we did that in the first 3 weeks? So now on this one is going to help you formulate an argument. You are going to read and annotate these 2 articles here. And then in those, you're not going to turn in your annotations. You're just going to read and annotate, ask questions, things like that to get your juices flowing. Because then you're going to write and submit a 250-word response in MLA format on one of those articles. You're going to write a response that demonstrates that you read it, understood it, and intelligently considered the essay. It is not a summary. Okay, so you're writing similar to what you're going to do in part 3, but on a much smaller scale of putting your position in there, how it's similar or different from the author's position, and really making sure that you are critically thinking on this. Sorry, my voice is getting weaker. You are also going to research a little bit more for part 3. Some of you might not have to research because I was looking at your works cited pages. Some of you already have like 8 or 9 articles, and that is fabulous. So you might not have to do more research. Just go back into those articles that you already researched and pull out the things that will help your argument. If you do not have a minimum of 6 sources already, remember by the end of part 2, you're supposed to have a minimum of 5. So by the time you're done with part 3, you will have 6 different sources minimum on your works cited page. You can have more, but the minimum is 6. So if you don't have that already, please go do a little bit more research for articles that will back up your opinion. Please be very selective in your articles to make sure that they are reputable articles that are not giving you a bunch of opinion aspects, that they're scientifically based or whatever the case may be for your topic. The last thing you're going to do this week is the quiz for improving style. I wonder where the information is. I'm going to have to submit something to find out where the information is for this so that you have the lesson. So improving your style is how you write and whatnot. So I will get back to that on what information is supposed to be there. So hope you have a good week 9 and make sure that you prioritize what you're going to do first, second, so on and so forth. This week is a heavier week on the assignments, more so than the last couple weeks, other than writing your essay. So make sure you prioritize your time and set up for that. And I will talk to you later.